Find all the keywords that could come up in an Amazon PPC phrase campaign. Get data direct from Amazon about what keywords drove sales to your competitors' listings. These strategies and more on today's episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AMPM podcast. My name is Bradley Sutton, and I'll be your host. And this is the show where we discuss all things Amazon, TikTok Shop, and Walmart private label, and how to generate recurring revenue streams 24 hours a day during the AM and the PM, hence the name of the show. Get it? AM, PM podcast. And as a matter of fact, this weekend, I took a quick family trip down to Tijuana, Mexico to do some shopping and eating. And while I was eating delicious tacos El Gordo, even though I wasn't working on my online business, I was still making money. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Today, we've got part 2 in a 2-part keyword research masterclass that we've been doing all about Cerebro in the first episode. And this episode, we're going to expand a little bit. Where should you be looking at for keywords outside of just, looking at a reverse ASIN search? Today we're talking about things like, hey, being able to just enter one seed keyword or root keyword and see what are all the long tail versions of that keyword throughout Amazon, even if it doesn't have high search volume. Super valuable when trying to kind of plan out your broad or phrase match campaigns in PPC. You guys know about search query performance for your own listings, maybe? We're going to go into that, how you can do stuff that would take you hours inside of Seller Central. But as you know, search query performance is telling you what keywords you got sales from, directly from Amazon, not from Helium 10, but you don't know what keywords that your competitors got sales from search query performance. However, I'm going to show you a data point from Amazon that tells you exactly that. Again, not an estimation from Helium 10. This is info directly from Amazon. So a lot of great stuff like this we're going to be going over today. And so here we go. How to see an expanded list of keywords related to one keyword. In previous videos, we talked about how you can enter an ASIN or a product, either from Walmart or Amazon, and get all of the keywords where those products are showing up in the search results. Many of those products highly relevant to that product. But what if you're just like looking to expand on an idea? Or maybe you have other, reasons to like say, hey, what are keywords related to a keyword, not necessarily a product? Here is how you do it. This is actually what I like to call the artist formerly known as Magnet. Back in the day, we had 2 different tools, Cerebro and Magnet. Now everything is in Cerebro. So now I can actually enter keywords into Cerebro and see keywords related to it. Here's a quick trick, by the way. If I just want to start typing in a keyword, like let's say the keyword I'm about to type in is coffin shelf. As you're typing out the keywords that come up here in the autocomplete for Helium 10, these are actually the keywords in reverse order, descending order of the most search volume. So I can see that under coffin, immediately I can see, hey, coffin press on nails is the most searched term that has the word coffin to start it in all of Amazon. Coffin nails tip, coffin moon, not sure what that is, coffin nails, and there's coffin shelf right there. But anyways, once you type in the keyword, you're going to want to go ahead and hit get keywords. All right, now what I see here is a summary at the top. Here's the most recent 30-day search volume of coffin shelf. Wow, 1,000, pretty high. A lot of people looking for coffin shelves, I guess. Cerebro IQ score, I already told you guys about that. CPR, I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the previous videos, but CPR, whenever you see that, that is the number of units that is necessary for people to have to search and then find and then buy this product, in advertising and organic over 8 days to give you the best chance to start ranking towards the top of page 1. This keyword distribution shows you the total number of keywords we found. Like for coffin shelf, we found 1,600. Now, 1,300 of those come from Amazon recommended. And basically that means that's from an Amazon data point that Helium 10 has exclusive access to, which looks at the top products that are showing up for on coffin shelf and then seeing what are the top Amazon recommended keywords for it. There's 191 organic keywords, 186 paid. These are keywords related to the seed keyword in organic or paid. And Smart Complete is super cool. Smart Complete is one of my favorite things. I'm going to show you what that is in a second. Whatever keywords you're looking here on the screen, it's going to actually total up that total Amazon search volume. So all of these 1,600 keywords have a total of 2,000 search volume. Now, what I like to do is actually focus in on the smart complete. That is a way to see, hey, what is going to come out in a phrase campaign? Basically, any keywords that has coffin and shelf in it in different forms. Like there could be a large coffin shelf, or it could be coffin shelf small, or maybe there's a word in between like coffin spooky shelf. Like these will all come up, including plural forms of this word like coffin shelves, coffins shelf, etc. So how I can see all of these keywords is here under match type, I'm going to select Smart Complete and hit apply filters. And when I do that, those 67 keywords come up. I can see black coffin shelf. I can see coffin wall shelf. There it is in the middle. I can see coffin shelves. That's not even a correct word, but hey, people are searching for it. I can see bookshelf coffin. So it puts it in any order. So pretty much any of these are going to be possibly come up in a phrase campaign. If there's something completely irrelevant to your product, you could use this list and take a look at some of those words and maybe even use ChatGPT to like say, hey, which of these keywords might lead people or might have nothing to do with my product? Like, for example, if I've got a pink coffin shelf, I might not want to show up in a phrase campaign for black coffin shelf. I mean, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But regardless, if I don't, I can now right off the bat say, you know what, from day one, I'm going to negative match this keyword. As far as the results here, in Cerebro, you're going to have all of the same data points and the same columns that the regular Cerebro has for the reverse ASIN. But again, this is just a great way to get a lot of related keywords to any seed keyword and to even find more keywords that might not have come up in your Cerebro search. Now, what if you have like a list of 20, 30, 50 keywords and you just want to see some basic stats on it? Like maybe you're looking for, hey, you know, how much search volume do these have? You know, what's the CPR number on it? What's the IQ score? Well, I could drop those in here if I hit analyze keywords. So I'm just going to put a couple here, coffin shelf, and I'll put a comma and I'll put Gothic shelves. And then I'll go ahead and put Gothic decor. And I can put up to 200 keywords here. And then if I hit analyze keywords, this is just going to give me a snapshot like, hey, I'm not looking for all these details, or I don't want 1,600 keywords to show up. This is going to give you the details for just what you entered. And right here, I could see the the total search volume, the average search volume, and right here, have all of that data, the brand analytics data. So maybe I had pulled a report from Seller Central for my advertising or from some other tool or something. I just want to get some data on it. Drop those keywords here into Cerebro, analyze keywords, and then you'll just get some top level information on that. So again, this is a very useful tool. It used to be called Magnet. Now it's inside of Cerebro. Make sure you're using this as one of the steps in your keyword research to kind of expand what keywords you're looking at aside from just what other competitors are ranking for, because there could be keywords that are long tail versions of the keywords that you know are important to your listing that might not have shown up on the competitor search because your competitors might not know about it. But because you guys have Cerebro, you've got it at your fingertips. Introduction to Helium 10's black box brand analytics tool. What is brand analytics? Brand analytics was one of the first data points that Amazon released that kind of like signified a trend that was going to happen over the last 5 years of, hey, Amazon is serious about giving brands tons and tons of data that none of us thought they would ever get before. So brand analytics is something that's in Seller Central. You can look up brand analytics top search terms, and it shows week by week, month by month, the top 2 to 4 million keywords searched for that week on all of Amazon. Other marketplaces like Japan and UK, Germany, the total number of keywords is a lot less people searching for keywords over there, but it's pretty much what anybody is searching for. Think about it that way. The problem, if I were to call it a problem with this data, is it's in literally this table that is 2 to 4 million rows long. So if you were to download that, you're talking like a gargantuan Excel file as is, and then you've got to sift through a lot of data. It's super hard to like get actionable data with such a large list of, an Excel document with 2 million rows. Plus, you got to look at it one at a time. So like, let's say I wanted to see what were the top 3 clicked products, which is what brand analytics shows. It shows you what are the top 3 clicked products for any keyword at any time frame. If I wanted to see the top 3 clicked keywords for coffin shelf over 1 year, what would I have to do in Seller Central? I would have to go load a page 52 different times, selecting a different week each time, download them all, and then somehow combine them all. So that's 52 Excel files, each with 2 million rows, just to try and get some data on a couple of keywords. Obviously, that is not a very efficient use of your time. So Helium 10 released the only tool out there that can get this valuable information. So if you're not using this brand analytics data because you're using some other software out there, you guys are missing out on super valuable keywords. Here is how you can navigate brand analytics. Here at the top, I can pick which marketplace. You can see all the different ones we have. Latest is Brazil. We've got UAE, Japan, etc. And then I can either pick week of or month of. I like pretty much always looking at the week of because this kind of data is really useful to see what's going on a weekly level as opposed to for the whole month. And I can choose which weeks I'm looking at over here. I can choose up to, I believe, 26 weeks at one time to analyze. If I don't select anything, it's just going to show me right here what are the top keywords. Like somehow the most searched thing in all of Amazon a couple weeks ago was this tinnitus relief for ringing ears. I don't even know what the heck that is. I don't have ringing ears, thank goodness. But if I did, I guess I'd be searching for tinnitus relief. But that was actually last week the most searched keyword in all of Amazon. The second most keyword searched was Fallout. What I can see here is this at Helium 10 search volume, also what's called this search frequency rank. This is direct from Amazon where, hey, this was the most searched, the search frequency rank 2, that means it was the second most searched, etc. Now here I have some data points. Total click share. This means of the top 3 ASINs, how much of the total clicks did these top 3 products make up? And I can actually see that here. I can see the top 3 clicked products right here for this date of last week for tinnitus relief for ringing ears. I can see this supplement right here was the top 3 clicked, and it had 10% of all the clicks. But here's the interesting thing. It had 0% of the conversion. So this is right here is telling, because it's telling me, hey, 1 out of 10 people who searched this keyword clicked on this product, but that's like 100,000 people or potentially more. None of them bought this product, showing that, hey, this is not what people are looking for. Here's another supplement. The third most clicked product for this keyword also had 0% conversion, and it's also a supplement. But look at this one. This product here, tinnitus relief for ringing ears, it looks like it is a relief drop. This one only had 9.8% of the clicks, but it had 0.3% of the conversions. It actually got purchases. So right away, I'm getting data here like, hey, you know what? The people who are searching for this product, it looks like they're not really looking for a like a vitamin or a supplement. They're looking for a drop that they can actually put in their ears, it looks like. All right. So this is how you can get data, from here. Now, here is what I like to do. Like let's just look at maybe Coffin Shelf. I want to zoom into Coffin Shelf for the week of January 4th to January 10th, 2026. And when I go ahead and hit apply filters, now I'm going to be able to see for Coffin Shelf, what were the 3 most clicked products? And here's Manny's Mysterious Oddities. Oh my goodness gracious. I had 0% conversion share, even though I had 12% of the clicks. So that is something that is not that great. I would have to figure out, hey, what's going on here? Now, if I had a whole bunch of search results, I could use some of these filters up here, like search volume trend and what are the total monthly sales. This is actually a way to do product research as well. Like, for example, maybe without a keyword, I'm going to say, hey, show me where there's a keyword where the top 3 ASINs total click share is greater than 50% and the top 3 ASINs is less than 10%. Do you guys understand how this might be helpful? That's like saying, hey, I want to see a keyword where a lot of people are obviously interested in these products, these 3 products that are getting the top clicks. And if their conversion rate was equal, what should their conversion share be? It would be 50%, right? In other words, what share of the purchases do they have? All the purchases that happen. So basically, I'm saying if there was 1,000 clicks on this keyword, show me where the top 3 products dominated with 50% of those clicks, 500 clicks. But let's just say out of those, clicks, only maybe 100 resulted in sales. But these products, instead of having 50 sales like they should have, they had less than 10, right? Okay. Another thing I can do is, hey, show me where the top 3 clicked ASIN's monthly or the total review count is like maybe less than 500, meaning that these products are maybe newer products. Let's go down even further. Let's go to like down to 300. Let's go ahead and hit apply filters and see if anything comes up here. Wow, and look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. We've got like still 10,000 keywords that have come up. So I'm going to like whittle this down even a little bit further here. Let me look for keywords that have at least 2 searches and maybe at least, let's just say 1,000 search volume. And now that brings me down to 3,000 keywords. And look at this. We've got some interesting products here like hydrogen water tablets, tattoo cover-up makeup, neck massager. Why did neck massager come up here? Take a look at these keywords. The top one, 21 or 25% of the clicks, but 0.1% of the sales. That's crazy. Look at this one, neck lift tape. The heck is neck lift tape? I'm not sure, but the top click product, 30% of the clicks, only 3% of the sales. And let's see, this product has 5 rating, only 5 reviews. That's crazy. And it's sold 30 units so far this month. So this is a great way to do keyword research or reset. So this is a great way to maybe find product ideas as well. I can further this down even more by looking at like the category as well. There's a lot more filters on here, but there's especially an amazing filter here that only Helium 10 has that is absolutely crazy. Let me show you that in the next strategy. How to see keywords that drove sales for your competitors. Now, you can kind of guesstimate that using other forms of Cerebro, right? Hey, where are they ranking highly? And it's a higher search volume keyword. Obviously, they had sales, but it's still an estimate, right? Like it's not 100%, probably like, 95%. But a lot of people out there are like, I only trust Amazon. I don't trust Helium 10. Well, is there a way to see what keywords drove sales for products and it's direct from the horse's mouth, the horse being Amazon? You might think, wait a minute, you can't do that in Search Tree Performance. You can only see what you're selling and what keywords drove your sales, and that's correct. But in brand analytics, there is a way to do it if you use Helium 10 and only if you use Helium 10. Watch this. Let's say I was looking at the top hemp creams. Like here's my product and here's some more top hemp cream roll-ons here. You enter in all of those ASINs into Blackbox. And instead of just looking at 1 week, choose a whole bunch. I'm going to choose like maybe 10 or 12 different weeks here. You know what? We're coming up on the beginning of January and February. So maybe I want to look back to January and February of 2025. What were the top keywords then? And then now watch this. I'm going to click this button right here, conversion share. I want to say inputted ASINs greater than or equal to 0.1, or actually just greater than or equal to 1. What is this telling me? This is telling me that they had at least a 1% conversion share. In other words, they had to have gotten sales for this keyword. So let's go ahead and apply filters. And now instantly, I'm going to see a list of keywords that Amazon, not Helium 10, is saying that brought me sales or my competitor sales. And take a look. There's 12 keywords here. All right. So we see CBD balm. And do you see these weeks? This is telling me like CBD roll-on. This is telling me that almost every single week I had chosen one of those 3 products was one of the top 3 clicked. Here's some more keywords: CBD stick, CBD topical, hemp roll-on, CBD oil for pain roll-on. All of these keywords is what Amazon is saying brought sales. So this is super valuable, guys. This is one of the most valuable tools in Helium 10 that maybe you're not using. And the reason is you can't find this data anywhere else. You could kind of get it from Seller Central, but what I just did, looking at like 25 weeks of data, I would have to download 25 weeks worth of data and then run some kind of pivot table or VLOOKUP where I'm looking for any of these 6 ASINs where they appeared. And not only that, not only where they were one of the top 3 clicked, but where they were one of the top 3 that had at least a 1% conversion rate. What just took me 30 seconds to do would take me probably more than 30 minutes, probably closer to 2 hours, depending on how much of an Excel wizard I am. Maybe an hour, all right, is a nice average number right there. But 30 seconds compared to 1 hour, that's the power of Helium 10 brand analytics. Don't just guess what keywords are driving sales to your competitors. Don't just guess what were the top 3 click. Where did your competitors show up in top 3 click? Use the data direct from Amazon thanks to Helium 10 Brand Analytics, aka ABA top search terms. Introduction to Helium 10 Search Query Analyzer. This is one of the most powerful tools that Helium 10 has released, and it's because of how powerful the data point is from Amazon. This is all information from Amazon. We're just sorting it in a way that's much easier and giving you some Helium 10 metrics on top of it. But again, thanks to Amazon for releasing what's called Search Query Performance, the most powerful set of data points that they've ever released to sellers. Basically, they're telling you across the whole funnel what Search Query Performance is, hey, how many people searched for a keyword? How many people, products showed up towards the top of page 1 as an impression in sponsored and organic? How many people clicked on a product from that page 1? How many people added one of the products that they clicked to their cart? And then how many people purchased the product for your products at the keyword level? Now, what is Search Query Performance not? It's not going to show you all of the sales that you got from keywords. This is a very unique part of the funnel. The only way something shows up in Search Query Performance, again, this is Amazon's rules, not Helium 10's. The only way it searches is if somebody just types a keyword. They don't click on Rufus. They don't click on other things. They don't click on sponsored brand ads or sponsored video ads or sponsored display ads. They click on either a sponsored product ad or they click on an organic placement. Now the click is registered. If an add to cart is registered, once they get to the page, they can't be going around, looking at Rufus and asking it questions or clicking reviews or clicking something on the browser, like one of the advertisements that's on the page and then clicking back to go there. Now that's not going to be registered anymore. But if they land on the page, now they click it. And then finally, if they added it to the cart, if they purchase, and all of this within 24 hours. So something that would not be shown is like, hey, if maybe you were searching for a keyword, you clicked on a product, then you click back, and then you click another product. Guess what? Search Query Performance stops capturing the data. None of the subsequent clicks or add to cart or sales are showing up. It's only that specific scenario. So it might only show up between 20 and 50% of your sales are actually going to show up here. For those who are like wondering, wait a minute, I know I sold more than this. How come it only shows this many sales? It's because it's that very unique path, but that is honestly the most powerful path for purchase that you have, right? If somebody clicks all the way through. So it's a really great data point to have, and you can benchmark yourself versus the competition. So here in Helium 10, how you can do this, let's just look at it for 1 week, is I can say, hey, for one of these weeks, let me look back right during Christmas of last year. For my coffin shelf, what were all of the keywords that had activity? And on this point, I have AI analysis turned off. In the next video, I'm going to show you what this AI analysis does. But here, I have a list of 100 keywords that came up for my product. And I can see the search volume, or my organic rank, search query score, that's from Search Query Performance, and impression share. All right. Now, by the way, I don't have all of my columns shown here. Some of the ones I'm missing are like my impressions and market impressions, my clicks, market clicks. These are all data points that you can have here as well. Now, right off the bat, one interesting thing is comparing the Search Query Performance search volume with my impressions. For example, Gothic Basket, search volume was 117, but my impressions was 9. In other words, less than 10% of the time I showed up on the top of page 1. And sure enough, with this Helium 10 score here, I can see that my organic rank, the last time Helium 10 checked was 100. So no wonder why I barely got any impressions, right? Now compare that to Coffin Bookshelf. Search volume was 747. My impressions was 800. You might be wondering, wait a minute, how in the world can you have more impressions than even people searching it? Well, look here. Thanks to Helium 10, which is not inside of Seller Central, you can see that my organic rank was 8, my sponsored rank was 3. In other words, most of the time, I was either the top of the page in organic and or sponsored. So sometimes I was showing up twice. So that's the way you can kind of like read this information. Now, the super valuable data points is like, hey, how many clicks did I get compared to the market? And then what is my click-through rate compared to the market? Like, look at this, Gothic basket. 11% of people, if they saw my product in Gothic basket, if I got an impression, they clicked on it 11% of the times, but the rest of the products, only 1%. So right off the bat, I'm like, hey, there's a 10% variance here. This data point Amazon doesn't have, but we're just calculating it for you. So I know that people who are searching for Gothic basket really like my product way more than anything else on the page probably, all right? But I only had 2 purchases for that keyword, all right? So this is how you can read the data. The very first thing you should do, guys, in here is sort by my purchases, or as a matter of fact, I can expand the advanced settings and hit minimum my purchases 1. And what I can see here is all of the keywords that drove me sales over a certain period of time. I have other coffin shelves too. So something you can't do in Seller Central is choose multiple products. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a couple of my coffin shelves. And then instead of just looking at a week, which I actually don't recommend doing in search for performance, I want to look at a month. And I'm going to say, hey, look at December 25, November, October, September. Let's go all the way back to 2024. Let's look at December, November, October. You know what? I'm going to go crazy. And let's look at all the way back in like 2023, even October, what was going on. And then I select all of that, and then I hit apply filters. And by the way, if you ever get the message here that says, oh, data is still being downloaded, you can just say wait for new data, and it'll get to you like in about 30 minutes or so. But right here, this is something that I would have to have run 10 or 11 different reports in Seller Central, one at a time, download the files, and then combine them all. Helium 10 is telling me all of the search query data points for 3 different products, all right, which you can't even do in Seller Central, and for all of these different months over the last 3 years. Let's go ahead and hit view existing data first, and let's see how many keywords brought sales from all of these from all of these products over all of these time periods. Let's take a look. And wow, 110 keywords. So now I know that over the course of all these different months, there was 110 keywords that brought me sales. And I could sort by the ones that brought me most. I would assume the first one is coffin shelf or something like that. Let's take a look. And sure enough, yeah, 58 different purchases over time for coffin shelf. Coffin gift box is 9. You know what? This search query performance data told me I need to create a coffin gift box as a standalone product. And sure enough, now guess who is the only one who has a cardboard coffin gift box on Amazon? It's us. Coffin bookshelf, coffin shelf. So really great data. The other great way to see or to use this data, especially, is my conversion rate. And so that's why we have something called conversion rate variance. I am going to sort this in descending order because what I want to see is where are the keywords where my conversion rate is better than everybody else's. And so let's take a look here. Here's one where I only got 1 purchase for cute candle warmer, but you know, my conversion rate was 100%. That's kind of crazy. I'm not going to look at a lot of these ones that have 100% because probably the data is limited, but it's worth a look at. What in the world did I get that was 100% conversion rate, you know, so more than the competitors. But look at some of these other ones here. Like here is one where I got a couple of purchases, coffin shelf decor. My conversion rate was 40%, but everybody else was only 4%. You think I want to double down on that keyword? You better believe it. What about this keyword here? Here's a keyword, spooky mystery box. All right. My conversion rate, 20%, everybody else, 1%. Here's another keyword, casket shelf. All right. My conversion rate, 9%, everybody else, 3%. Why are these important? Well, if my conversion rate is better, basically this means that I can probably get a sale better than the competitors and I can move up organic ranking. I just have to see, am I being seen? So for example, if I look here at casket shelf, what were the search volume? 938. And what were my impressions? 604. So I could be leaving money on the table because I am not showing up at the top of search all the time for this keyword casket shelf. So if I increase my advertising, right here, the data is telling me that I will get sales at a better rate than my competitors. Here's another keyword, coffin shelf pink. My conversion rate, 8. Everybody else is 3. Here's a keyword that, again, there's that coffin gift box keyword. I got 13 sales from this keyword. and my conversion rate's 5%. Market conversion rate is 3%. So again, this is just super valuable data that you can actually use and get data, not just to know what keywords brought you sales, but what keywords should you be focusing on? The opposite is true too. What if I had a keyword where my conversion rate was a lot worse than the competition? Should I be spending tons and tons of money on it if it's not an important keyword for my branding purposes? Probably not, because it means I'm probably going to waste money. Usually when you look at those keywords in advertising, it's going to show higher ACoS and less conversion. So Search Query Analyzer, guys, is a game changer for looking at data. Get in there, put your top ASIN in, look back at the last 12 months, get a list of your sales. Now dive deeper into the data. There's something that can help you look into this data, and that's AI. I'm going to show you the next strategy, how to do that. How to use AI to look at your search query performance data. Now, this is an important aspect because sometimes it's just an overwhelming amount of data that you might come up with. You have a list of like hundreds of keywords or even thousands. You're like, what do I even do with this? For that, we've made a beta of an AI kind of like aggregator, if you were, of this data to kind of give you some highlights, right? And this is just the first version of it. So you guys might have some ways that you're always looking through this data. And if you do, let us know. We can maybe, design an AI to actually do it for you. Here's how you can do that. Do your search just the way you would do it normally in Search Query Performance. But then what you should do is select AI Analysis, toggle that on, and then hit Apply AI Analysis. Now what you do is scroll here to the bottom and you see View AI Analysis. Let's take a look at what comes up for this coffin shelf. Right off the bat, I can see some top things like, what are my top sales keywords? What were the keywords I had the best conversion rate on? What was the market's top sales keywords, all right? What drove them a lot of sales? What were the top search volume keywords that I'm showing up for? That's the top query overview. I can look at a matrix of my keywords. I can look at my price comparison, all right, of who is in this niche. And I can look at the funnel, all right, how we go from impression to click, add to carts, to purchase. Now, here are some high value, low visibility keywords. What does that mean? That means I might be leaving some money on the table with impressions that are a lot less than the search volume, all right? So some of my products, I wasn't getting any impressions on Coffin Shelf, all right? So it's like, hey, you need to be going ahead and advertising more on those keywords, all right? So that is one summary that you can get here. If I hit search over here, it's actually going to show me where in my Helium 10 ads I have coffin wall shelf, and I could see exactly where it is here and maybe take action accordingly. If I scroll down more, I have something called organic gold mines. All right. I didn't name these guys, so don't worry about these names here. But basically this means, hey, I've got a lot of organic sales, but I'm not really running ads on it. All right. So if I open this up, now I can see, oh, here are some keywords where purple shelf, Halloween gift box, I'm getting some sales from it, but I'm not even advertising for it. All right. So that's something that could help me. Underrated converters. Here we go. High conversion rate, but low sponsored visibility. Which keywords do I have high conversion rate on, but I'm not really having much impressions in sponsored ads? By the way, the only way that we'll be able to see this is if you're using Helium 10 ads. Here's another one here. Performance drops, all right? My conversions are going down over time or immediately. Here's a couple ones. Coffin shelf for some reason is going down for me. I better look into that, right? That's interesting. High search, low rank keywords. This means, hey, these are a lot of high search volume, but my rank is not doing very good on it. And so there's tons of keywords here like pink Halloween room decor, oddities, goth office decor, etc. Long tail converters. All right. These are low competition keywords that I have good conversion rate on. And this gives me a complete list of those. So this is another great way to get some quick information on what is doing well for you and what is not doing so great for you in search query performance. This AI analysis. Is there another preset that you might like? Let us know. Do you guys know how to submit tool ideas to Helium 10? Right here at the top of your Helium 10 screen, hit these quotation marks. And once you hit the quotation marks, you're going to hit this button called Give Feature Ideas. And that is going to go directly to me and a group of us here at Helium 10. We're constantly seeing all the hundreds of requests that you guys are putting in every month, and we are, sorting them by what people ask for the most, and that's what decides of what goes into our tool. So make sure to use that here for what new features you'd like for this AI analysis of your search query performance. The future of keyword research in Helium 10, thanks to a new version of Listing Builder. We've gone over in today's strategies and maybe the other videos you saw before about Cerebro, tons and tons of different ways to go through keywords. And a lot of these ways are completely unique to Helium 10. You can't get historical Cerebro searches anywhere else. You can't get the brand analytics conversion data anywhere else. In Seller Central, you can't look at multi-weeks of products of search query performance at once and multi-products, all right? So a lot of this stuff is unique. But even still, to go through each of those steps, regardless of how fast it is, I'm sure you'd agree with me, it's worth it to find all these keywords, right? Even if it does take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But what if you could do all of those steps with just a click of a button or a couple of clicks? That's the future of Listing Builder. Let me give you guys a sneak peek at what's coming. Here in Listing Builder, when you're on the add keywords for listing and I enter in my coffin shelf and a whole bunch of other coffin shelves here, I now can select from almost all of those things that I showed you guys. I could say, find all of my brand analytics keywords that has conversion share of more than 1 over the last 26 weeks. You know what? Find all of the brand analytics keywords from my competitors over the last 26 weeks. Find me any search query performance keyword that brought me sales in the last 12 months. You know what? Tell me any keywords that has more than 300 searches where the average competitor rank of all my competitors is between 1 and 40, and at least 4 of them are ranking for the keyword. You know what? Show me the keywords, the opportunity keywords, where there's 300 search volume and only 2 products are in the top 15. You know what? Find me the historical keywords where a product is ranking in between 1 and 5 in the last 6 months and has search volume of at least 300. And let's go ahead and widen out that search and just say, hey, show me where any one product right here is ranked between 1 and 10. Show me where any one of these products is advertising top of search. And all of these with at least 300 search volume. I could do all of that now and just click once, and it is going to find all of those keywords from all of those data points in seconds that I would have had to do step by step before in all of those different tools. And here we go. I've got 300 keywords. And right here, I could see, hey, where did these keywords come from? Like this keyword coffin shelf, it came from the SQP keywords. It came from historical. It came from top organic keywords. It came from top sponsored keywords. Goth room decor was a top organic keyword, and it was a historical keyword. It was not a search query performance keyword. And now I've got my complete list of keywords right here in seconds. What might have taken me, 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before. Instantly, I get my top keywords with just one click. There's a lot more that's coming. Stay tuned, guys. In the next few weeks, we're going to do a full workshop. Once the full listing builder is fully redone, I updated the formula of how we calculate like your listing performance score. We're updating our AI so that in addition to keywords, you can optimize your listings for Rufus with AI. Tons and tons of amazing things coming to Helium 10's listing builder, but I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. How to automatically track yours and your competitors' keyword ranks. Now, this is important because you might have done all this keyword research, but do you want to be doing all of these steps every single week or once a month? That's what you have to do if you're using any other tool out there. But with Helium 10, you can get automatic alerts for when either you or your competitors are ranking for new keywords in sponsored ads. You're ranking at the top of the page in search results. Here is how you can do that. If you have Insights dashboard, make sure all of your products are added to the dashboard, all right? And the way you can do that is by hitting adjust selected ASINs. Make sure they're all here. I believe with the Platinum plan, you might have like 2 or 3 products or something you can have on here, but this is mainly for the Diamond plan. And then what I want you to do is for the ASIN, you expand out who are your competitors. So like for this egg tray, I have one competitor, all right? So hit edit competitors and add all of the egg trays. That's what I'm going to do for here. For my coffin shelf, I look, and under competitors, I probably put a few coffin shelves here. So you guys put who are your top 5 competitors. And then here's what you can do. You're going to want to go into Insight settings. I'm going to look here at my products keywords suggested. All right. And I'm going to I'm going to enable it, and then I'm going to hit edit. And then I'm going to look at, hey, tell me if a search volume is between, let's just say 300, and I'm not going to put a cap on this, and my organic rank is between 1 and 10, and my word count is between 2. I'm going to put 2 here. I don't care about the keyword sales, but I'm just saying, hey, if I am not tracking a certain keyword on all of my products, or maybe a specific product, maybe I have different thresholds I want to do, give me a notification, and that's what it's going to do. So anytime I'm ranking for a keyword that I'm not already tracking, it is now going to tell that to me. All right. So that's for my products. What about my competitor keywords? I'm going to be like, you know what? For either some of my competitors' products, or for my products, I should say, for any of their keywords. Okay. So here's my bat-shaped bath mat. Basically what I'm saying is, you know what? For any of these competitors here, or I can put all products if I don't even care. I just want to do all my competitors. Tell me if there's a keyword that has 400 search volume or more, and my product rank is between 400 and 300, or 440 and 300, or between 0 and 0, meaning I'm not ranking at all. And when at least one competitor is organically ranked between 1 and 30, give me a heads up. All right. And so now what is going to happen is here on Insight's dashboard. So here, I don't have to be searching Cerebro every week anymore, or every month. If I get one of those keywords that I wasn't tracking before, but it hits one of these criteria, or my competitor starts ranking or starts advertising for a new keyword that they weren't before, I'm going to get this right here under my insights, right here, 5 competitor keywords you aren't ranking for. And now I'm going to be able to start tracking it, maybe take action and put it in my listing. So this is a great way to kind of automate your keyword research going forward, because some of you guys have 100 products. You don't want to be having to run Cerebro 100 times once a month. Use this to automatically get notified if you have new keywords that you or your competitors are ranking for. All right, guys, there you have it. 2 complete masterclasses we have done of keyword research over the last 2 weeks on the podcast. Tons and tons of strategies here. And remember, keywords are still king on Amazon. Very few people are discovering or searching for products that they know they want using Rufus or other AI things. The vast, vast, vast majority of people are still searching, finding, and buying the product that they want using keywords. Okay? Doesn't mean you shouldn't optimize for Rufus. Otherwise, why would we give so much education about it? Why would we be building that into our new AI listing builder? You have to be paying attention on that, but don't sleep on the importance of keyword research, which is still the #1 way that people discover products on Amazon, especially when they already know what kind of product they want to buy. You've got to have all of the keywords that somebody might type into that search bar in your listing to give you the best chance to be searchable for that product and to show up hopefully eventually on page 1. So hopefully you guys can implement these strategies. If you don't have Helium 10 for some weird reason, use the podcast code SSP10 to save 10% off for life. SSP10 for new users only. Save 10% off for life, or you just want to try it out for a little bit, you can use SSP20 and save 20% off 6 months. Hope you guys enjoyed these strategies. Be looking out for that workshop on the brand new listing builder. So it kind of puts all of this into one, probably coming March or April. See you guys next episode.